Casual family, welcome to the WrestleMania Night 2 post-show reactions and conversation. This will double as your Monday episode of CWCD. So you get it tonight, you get it tomorrow. This should hold you over until Tuesday. I am your host, the Notorious D. Joining me tonight, as always, is the queen of casual herself, Level Up, Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
The chapter is closed. We are on to the next one in New Orleans. A lot to unpack here tonight. If you're feeling the vibes, like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure to share this video. And don't forget to join the Casual Wrestling Discord, the #1 place for real wrestling conversation. Got a hot take yourself? Drop it in the comments or email me at questions@casualwrestling.com. And tonight's episode is powered by the Casual Wrestling merch store. More on that in a minute. WrestleMania is officially over, and the dust is starting to settle. The overreactions are coming in hot right now. There is lots to unpack, but I think that it is necessary to start where WrestleMania ended tonight, and that is with John Cena becoming a 17-time WWE undisputed champion. Because the CWC Discord is buzzing, the internet is buzzing. I see mixed reactions all over the place, Lauren. I've seen comments tonight that WrestleMania was about the money. It wasn't about the story. I've seen comments tonight that this Cena heel turn is officially trash. I'm not ready to draw such drastic conclusions based on what we saw tonight. I think we have to slow down right now. We have to take a second. We have to take a step back. And we've got to quit putting the blame of what we saw here on Sunday night on WWE and on John Cena. I think the spotlight right now has to be shined onto Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne chose not to show up. John can't force him to show up. WWE can't force him to show up. But I'm going to go one step farther and take the spotlight off of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and point it onto us as fans. We are the ones who booked The Rock into this match. He never promised to show up. WWE never told us that The Rock was going to be there. Would it have enhanced the night? 100%. Would have been almost a 10 out of 10 WrestleMania had The Rock showed up at the end of the night. But we keep doing this to ourselves. We book what we want. We fantasy book these situations, and then we shit on it when it doesn't end up being what we said that we wanted. We can't let the fact that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson didn't show up cloud our judgment on the fact that we got a damn good 2 nights of WrestleMania. And we got a good main event on night 2, and we got the result that most of us wanted. We didn't get there exactly the way we all thought we would get there, but Cody Rhodes is no longer WWE champion, which a lot of us were calling for. John Cena won his 17th world title. And we now move forward with a very different landscape of WWE. I'm just not ready to call John Cena's heel turn trash yet, right? I'm just not ready. When I clear my mind and I look at WrestleMania as a 2-night event, overall, this was an 8 out of 10 WrestleMania. Not every WrestleMania is going to be WrestleMania 40, 10 out of 10, sets the new bar for what WrestleMania should be, right? Not every main event is going to live up to what we expect with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes too. We can't, the thing we can't do is expect WWE to raise the bar year after year. That's how you set yourself up for disappointment. We got such a good main event last year that we thought they're going to top it. But in the weeks leading up to this event, I expressed a lot of concern for this match, especially if The Rock did not show up. And I think a lot of my concerns came to light in the fact that people were going to be upset. No matter how good The actual match was, if The Rock didn't show up, we were going to, at the end, and I did it as well, but you're going to go, what? That's the finish? But the reality is, when you kind of look at it and you take a step back, there wasn't much wrong with that main event. The only thing that's wrong is that we didn't get the surprise ending that we were looking for. John Cena's entrance was phenomenal. He did his best during the match to turn the crowd against him. It has become abundantly clear during this match that there is a subsection of the audience that's just going to ride with John Cena, whether he's a good guy, whether he's a bad guy. There's a subsection of the audience that's going to cheer, and they cheered loud tonight, and that makes it hard to tell the story. I think the finish with Travis Scott was fine. If you take The Rock out of the situation, and Travis Scott showing up was the next best thing you can get if you don't get The Rock. But there's nothing about this match. I'm seeing the overreactions online. To me, there's nothing about this match that you could say was bad. Like, tell me what was bad about the match. John Cena was serviceable. Cody Rhodes lost the title. We have a new champion. We got the result we wanted. The new version of Cena is going to work. What was bad other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did not show up?
I think you, nailed it on the head?
Yeah.
Because I set all these expectations for myself. I was like, oh, what are they going to do next? I need something epic. I have to have this. That I think maybe I didn't totally enjoy it because I was like, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen next? Oh, okay, we have this much time left, so I've got to just see them do this for this much longer. You know what I mean?
Sure. My one constructive criticism would be, if this was the intended finish that I always had in mind, this should have been night one. I don't care that it's John Cena and Cody Rhodes. I don't care that it's the undisputed WWE Championship. If you knew The Rock was not showing up, this should have been night one. Get it out of the way. And then night two, you finish strong with the Paul Heyman turn, with Seth Rollins standing tall. I think it's ballsy to flip these two matches, but I think if you flip them, there's a whole different perspective on the WrestleMania weekend as a whole. I still, though, am saying this was an 8 out of 10 WrestleMania. That is not bad. That is better than we should expect most of the time. I
would say overall it was the most enjoyable. Does that make sense? Because I never felt just like, okay, this match is boring. Let me go to the bathroom or go do something.
Sure. I'll even tell you that I think when you weight the score of WrestleMania, I keep saying that WrestleMania 40 was 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. All I really remember is the last match of each night, right? So I think you weigh the main event very heavily. I think this WrestleMania, outside of not getting The Rock, was probably 9.5 out of 10 because it was consistently entertaining, and that's what you want from WrestleMania. They weren't the best matches. They weren't the greatest stories, but it entertained for 8 hours. That's 8 hours of wrestling, and I never once felt bored by what I saw. It is time to admit right now that we didn't dislike the main event. We just were upset that we didn't get the finish that we wanted, and we can't let that cloud our judgment otherwise of a very solid WrestleMania. Let's talk about...
I'll let myself down.
We'll talk about the other 6 matches that we got on night 2 of WrestleMania. We got a phenomenal opening match
awesome.
With Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. We saw the flashes of what a Bianca heel turn could look like. She's starting to unravel. She's starting to embrace the hate a little bit. If there was ever a time for WWE to pull the trigger on a Bianca heel turn, it is tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Pull the fucking trigger. Let her go heel. The crowd's already booing. It's already become the cool thing to boo her. This is your chance. You may never get another opportunity to turn Bianca Belair heel. This is it. Take the opportunity and run with it. The crowd clearly still loves Rhea Ripley. That's fine. The crowd clearly loves Io Sky, which is great. You made a comment during that match, or maybe at the end, you said, Io Sky won me over.
She did.
I feel 100% the same way. Io Sky, welcome to the conversation because you have proven to me at WrestleMania that you belong. Before this, I didn't understand the Io Sky hype. Still not my favorite wrestler, but welcome to the conversation where I start to address you as one of the big girls.
You can appreciate what she does.
Sure. Held her own. I would dare say added what that match probably needed. And ultimately that became a great opening match for night 2 of WrestleMania. And with Io Sky retaining, it opens it up for so many different angles. They could roll forward, like I said, with Bianca turning heel. We could continue on with Rhea and Bianca being pissed off at each other. You know, there's so much. I foresee Rhea Ripley on Monday or on Friday coming out and addressing Bianca and saying, you lost that match. You cost us that match. Now, I did, it was made aware tonight that Bianca took the pin. So we can't have the conversation about being undefeated anymore.
True. Which I was like mind boggled because I was like, they love their.
Sure. They put a cork in that situation very quickly. We don't even have to have the uncomfortable conversation of, well, she lost, but she didn't get pinned. She took the pin. I think that leads to some interesting stories moving forward. Yeah. I thought that Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest once again was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Now, I saw a couple people in the Discord who I understand the sentiment because it was called a Sin City street fight. There's a lot of people who believe a street fight should take place in the street. While I completely understand the sentiment, the reality is we all know what WWE means when they use these clever names. It's just a way to...
Like no rules, right?
It's a way to drag in the casuals who don't understand. And we can't get roped in as more informed fans. We can't get drug into thinking they didn't do enough in a match that was literally exactly what it was advertised to be. Yeah. We as fans know what a street fight is. It just means it's a fancy way of saying there's going to be no rules and there's going to be lots of weapons. I understand the sentiment. Like someone said, it would have been fun to do a cinematic match that took place on the Strip. I think the logistics of that are a fucking nightmare. To have a fight in the middle of Las Vegas when there's that many people there.
I
right?
saw pictures. You could even take through the street to walk back to the
exactly.
hotel.
So to pull that off would be absolutely insane. Then you don't think that the people who paid $600 and $700 to be in WrestleMania aren't going to immediately bitch and complain
100%.
That they had to watch one whole match on a screen, even if it ends up spilling into the arena for the last 5 minutes of the match, there's going to be hell to pay. It's the safest thing to do is just call it a street fight and do exactly what they did. And I thought it delivered. Those two guys beat the hell out of each other, and Drew McIntyre picked up the win, which was, you know, we saw the Vegas odds. They had Drew as the absolute monster favorite, and clearly they knew something that maybe I didn't, because I thought there was a chance Damian Priest. I was a little worried when Damian got the real badass entrance. That, okay, Damian got the whole WrestleMania moment, but Drew's walking out of here with the victory. And that's seemingly what happened. But once again, 2 for 2 if we talk about the first 2 matches. Then we roll into the Fatal 4-Way, a match that a lot of people weren't necessarily that excited for. But as you started to see that match come together and you started to see the reality that it looked like either Finn Balor or Dominic Mysterio were walking out of there with the title, Dominic Mysterio won the title. Dominic Mysterio got a huge babyface reaction. I don't know if that's what WWE intended, but Dominic Mysterio is now a babyface. That is what happened. That is the result of what happened tonight at WrestleMania, and that can't be discounted. We have now the threads for ultimately this fun story moving forward where Dominic Mysterio is a champion. Tomorrow night, Lauren, on Monday Night Raw, Liv Morgan no longer has a title. There's going to be tension there. Finn Balor doesn't have a title. Do you know who the only person in the Judgment Day to hold the title is right now?
Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic Mysterio. Opens up so many fun storylines starting tomorrow that we can't overlook the importance of that match. Braun Breaker, he's graduated, right? Congratulations. Let's give a round of applause to Braun Breaker. He's graduated out of the mid-card. He is officially, as we said with Io Sky, welcome to the big leagues. Braun Breaker has graduated to the next level of WWE. Braun Breaker will be, I said it during the recording of WrestleMania. I said, Braun Breaker could easily be the guy who takes the title off of Jey Uso sooner rather than later. I don't know how long the Jey Uso experiment lasts, and I think Braun Breaker is chomping at the fucking bits to be a world champion, and I think that it's possible if this Jey thing doesn't go as planned, right? Because this is an experiment. Don't get it twisted. Jey Uso is an experiment. And if we're 4 or 5 weeks into this, they don't know what they're going to get with Jey. He doesn't talk well. Like, he yeets and he dance and he does all the noises, but we don't know what it looks like when Jey now has to be a champion. He's now got to be the A side of the story. Because don't get it twisted. His hype was A-level, but Gunther carried a lot of the
conversation
load of getting to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Now Jey Uso has to do that in some stories and some feuds. And so it reminds me of when, if you remember when Big E was so loved, and then he became world champion, and I took so much shit because I said he's too comedic.
Yeah.
And it was 4 weeks later that they quickly saw the funny shit doesn't work as world champion. Mm-hmm. We're going to see, does the Gen Z yeet making noises, does that work as a world champion? Or is that great when you're chasing the title? But what Braun Breaker's chomping at the bits. Just remember me saying this. Braun Breaker is chomping at the bits. And if this experiment doesn't work, there is a spear with Jey Uso's name written all over it. And they will quickly turn. And like I said, he graduated tonight. You can lose at WrestleMania, and we still all recognize you graduated to the next level. Lauren, we got to see, this was unexpected. I picked Rusev. You picked...
I don't even remember who
I don't remember who you picked either, but we got Joe Hendry.
I know. I was actually excited when I saw him.
Ultimately, this makes sense. I saw Mike say this in the Discord. Randy Orton was going to win this match. Mm-hmm. There was no doubt in my mind. I saw other people say that he didn't have to win, but there was no doubt. I think Randy Orton was set to win this match. Joe Hendry made sense, right? Because who is the guy you can call on to get the absolute most insane reaction from the crowd? It can be a short match. Joe Hendry can get a couple of spots in. Yeah. All of a sudden, what they did for TNA tonight cannot be overlooked. They did more for TNA in one night than AEW did in that entire relationship with TNA. Mm-hmm. The fact that they had Joe Hendry on WrestleMania, he got a WrestleMania entrance moment, the whole shabam. He got to run through his greatest hits.
I knew who Joe Hendry was because of you. Sure. Like, if as a normal casual wrestler, I would never know who he was. If I'm not a wrestler, but I know what you mean as
a fan. But yeah. So Joe Hendry is someone who has transcended TNA wrestling. He's done it through TikTok, through social media. He's appeared in NXT a couple times. This was perfect. This was absolutely perfect. When I look at this is one of those things where I look at it and I go, stupid. I should have known this. It works so good. It works so good with him turning back to the camera, then eating the RKO, 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton picking him up, dusting him off, telling him, take your moment with the crowd, then fucking RKOing him again. That was so well written to me.
Yeah.
Then we got Logan Paul. And interesting enough, we got Logan Paul. And I will admit, this was not my favorite match. This was not the type of match I thought we were going to get. But what we saw tonight with Logan Paul is he belongs. And we say that after every event he's in, but I mean it for real this time because we've seen Logan Paul give us the big, oh my God moments. What we saw tonight was Logan Paul is a competent wrestler from bell to bell. He could put together the entire package. I thought his entrance was absolutely the most on-brand thing you could do for Logan Paul by coming out holding the camera. Oh shit, it's a fucking drone.
Yeah.
Now it's flying around. Now there's 20 cameras on Logan Paul as he walks to the ring. Him and AJ Styles put on an extremely competent match. I like that we saw Karrion Kross, which gives me hope that, okay, we're not done with Karrion Kross. There's more to his story with AJ Styles. it gave me hope that if Logan does decide to take this serious and decides to lock in, he's a world champion. 100%.
I thought it was a good match, but I told you, I was like, what's going to happen? I need something big to happen. He conditioned me to know that he's going to do those like crazy things, and that's what I'm going to be excited for him. So when he did not give that moment to me, in my eyes, I was a little bit disappointed.
But that's, once again, that's on us. That's on us as fans for beginning to expect things. Now,
I myself down twice.
I think with that, with Logan, you come and I think you still should expect big moments from Logan. But I think a lot of tonight for Logan Paul was proving to the world.
I'm a real wrestler.
Not just that, I am one of the best wrestlers. Like, he is good. He is extremely good at this from bell to bell. I was having a conversation in the Discord about him versus Will Ospreay, in that we got to quit with this. Will Ospreay is extremely good at one thing, and that is the moment-to-moment actual wrestling moves. Will Ospreay is great at that. But when we talk about the entirety of pro wrestling, you have to encompass, you can't just dribble a basketball and be in the NBA. You got to be able to shoot, pass, play defense. There's so many elements to playing the game. Logan Paul does it all. He is a full-on utility guy who can do everything, and his charisma is out of the fucking building.
Yeah.
So it just proved tonight kind of that last thing that we might have had questions was, okay, he could get carried through a match. Okay, he can jump off the top ropes through a table, and that's what we remember. But what we'll remember tonight was Logan Paul put on a full exercise in professional wrestling, and he did extremely, extremely well.
All right.
Then we got Becky Lynch returning, which, a lot of people were calling. A lot of people said it wouldn't happen. That's exciting. We talked, that's funny, that was the story all week that kept popping up for us as we did CWCD was Becky's done with wrestling. Wait, Becky's re-signed. Wait, Becky's waiting for better creative. Turns out the whole time, I don't know what was going on, but the plan was to bring her back with Lyra Valkyria. I see the disappointment in a lot of people when things like this happen, because we go, oh man, we really wanted Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. The issue is, how much does that really change WrestleMania? If you get that match versus, if you're WWE, bringing Becky Lynch out is enough to get talked about and have that moment. Now, what you got was, you got Becky Lynch back. You now have them as tag team champions, which I thought was interesting, but I understand, because these belts are going to get defended on NXT. I could see Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria dropping those titles at NXT, leaving those titles on NXT for a moment, and Becky turning on Lyra in that match. Now, moving forward, we have a very big anchored match for Backlash, or even deeper down the road. Because you got to remember, Backlash is right around the corner.
True.
And you've got to start placing puzzle pieces. And I think Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch will get a lot more attention on a Backlash.
Irish, right? Because they're both Irish?
Yeah. And they've had history. They've done this in NXT once before. So I think doing this at Backlash gets it a lot more attention than it would have got if it was buried on the WrestleMania card. Because obviously, Triple H, whether we like the weird kid or not, named Lyra Valkyria, Triple H has a ton of faith in this girl.
Yeah.
He's got 2 belts on her, which she's going to start calling herself Lyra 2 belts, which, if you know anything, Lauren, that's Becky 2 belts there. Okay? Don't take Becky 2 belts whole shtick here if you're Lyra Valkyria. I think that's going to lead to the turn. I think Becky...
I don't know enough about Lyra yet. I keep on forgetting what her face looks like, and I was said in Discord, like, I have face blindness when it comes to her.
Sure.
But I remembered her tonight because the feathers got me.
Sure. I mean, what I say about Lyra all the time, she's not bad at anything. She's just got to figure out how to stand out. And maybe it is a big moment with Becky Lynch that really rises her up. She needs a moment. Tiffy had that moment this week, right? I saw people try to come at us for yesterday going, anybody who's watched NXT knows Becky or Tiffany's always been that good. No, you fucking didn't. The last 6 weeks, I've had to put up with people messaging me and commenting that I'm overhyping Tiffany Stratton. Don't all of a sudden, now that she has the moment, come back and be like, we always knew. No, you fucking didn't.
I was always on Team Tiffy.
Well, I'm not going to lie and be like, I watched her in NXT, but I've always been favorable of Tiffany Stratton in the times where people began to shit on her and say, are we sure she's a world champion? Are we sure? I was like, just give her a minute. Let her get acclimated. Let her find her footing. She found her footing. She also has some magical fucking teeth, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Those things were missing. I'm not crazy.
No.
There were teeth missing at the end of that WrestleMania match.
Pushed back, and then I don't know.
That's not how teeth work.
Because they went.
That's not.
To the poster view, and they were fine.
Do you have rubber teeth that could go back and then come forward? Like how?
No, I thought about it for a minute, but I don't.
Like those teeth were missing. They were not there. And then all of a sudden, post press conference, does WWE have a was Britt Baker at WrestleMania? We just didn't know about it. Britt Baker was in the back talking about, hey, what are my contract options? Tiffany Stratton gets her teeth knocked out, and Britt Baker goes, let me show you what else I could do.
Got it.
Puts on, oh my God. Britt Baker to WWE, make it official right now. That's what happened. Outside of that, once again, circle back around to the main event was fine. Like it wasn't what we wanted.
I got my hopes up high.
Sure. And that's a lot of that is my fault because I get on this microphone and I hype it up, but that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to get us excited about WrestleMania. But ultimately we have to take a step back when we're wrong. And we have to admit that some of this is it's not all on us. A lot of this is on Dwayne. You couldn't take 10 minutes to show the fuck up. You couldn't have, here's my problem. This is my biggest problem is I just wish that WWE didn't use it as a teaser, right? I wish that they would go, hey, Rock's not here. He's not here. Like we don't even want to set the expectation that he could be here. Rock can't be here.
Do you think that's why they made that like announcement thing of we don't book for the internet or whatever?
No, that's Triple H just shitting on people. Like that was just him taking a fucking victory lap. I don't know what was up his ass this week that he felt like he needed to shit on everybody. But no, I don't think that had anything to do with The Rock.
Okay. Just wondering.
I don't know if the original plan was for The Rock to be there. I don't know if it wasn't. I don't know enough. What I do know is what I have to do is set aside those feelings for right now because here's the problem. 2 weeks from now, if The Rock shows up, we fucking forget all about this. So him not showing up tonight does not disqualify anything. It just means we didn't get the answer we wanted immediately tonight.
Know.
But like I said, this was 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I'd probably go as far as say this was a 9 out of 10 WrestleMania for me, coming off the heels of what last year was a 10 out of 10 WrestleMania. That's not bad. The bar is just set so high at this point that we've got to be accustomed to it's going to drop back down from time to time. I'm excited for Monday. I'm excited for tomorrow on what we're going to get. I am now energized again moving forward. And to me, that is what WrestleMania is supposed to be. It's a moment that re-energizes. It is our Super Bowl. It feels like we saw some of the big stories come to an end. Now we begin 2025. Like, ultimately, this is where the 2025 season sort of begins.
Yeah.
John Cena's the champion. We have so many new champions coming out of WrestleMania. That means so many fresh stories. Ultimately, Monday is going to look very different. I guarantee you we get a free agency period coming up here pretty soon where they make switches to the rosters. They rebalance everything out. But if I look at WrestleMania in totality, if I take a step back right now, Night 1 and Night 2 were pretty balanced for me.
True.
I don't look at one or the other and go, that one was just way better. I think that Night 1 was carried by the main event and had 6 other really solid matches. I think that Night 2 was carried by 6 solid matches and had not a bad main event, but not the better of the 2 main events. But I want to go on record. I said this multiple times in the build-up to WrestleMania that my main event was Night 1.
Yeah.
I kept saying that I felt like that was the best main event. And ultimately, I was correct in that. Night 2, delivered. It was fine. I think it set up stories moving forward. I think that a lot of people are upset because WrestleMania typically is not the setup. But this year might have been a little different because it also was kind of the kickoff for the John Cena farewell tour. So ultimately, we may look back at this and go, this was a really good thing.
What was your favorite match of tonight?
Don't want to do that yet because I think that's a topic for this week
Right.
We will break down our favorite matches of the weekend in order from top to bottom. So I don't want to give that away right now because it might surprise you the way my list pans out as far as
I think ours will be different, definitely.
I'm sure they will. Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about, we got to see Stone Cold Steve Austin crash into a lady in the front row.
Oh yeah, that was
crazy.
What
the fuck? So
love Twitter though, because I know as soon as I look it up, everything's gonna be right there, and I just replayed it over and over and over and watched it.
I get it feels like, all right, we gotta read these numbers, right? We gotta tell everybody how many fans are here. Who we got in the back? Steve, how you feel about going out there and reading some numbers? Oh yeah, hell yeah, I'll go do it. Steve, what do you need? Just a 4-wheeler. That's it. Just give me a 4-wheeler. Fucking drove that thing down, spins out, hits the thing. Might have killed the lady in the front row. I don't know what happened to her.
Flying, whoosh. Yeah, I almost made myself fall back.
I don't know what happened, but when Nick Khan's out there trying to settle the situation down, like legitimately some real shit just happened. So that was fun to see. But like I said, we gotta be patient. Patience is key here. Here's one thing that doesn't get talked about, right? And I said this at the beginning, they spoiled the match because I ultimately knew what was going to happen. The minute they came out and said John Cena will be on Pat McAfee tomorrow, I go, that's it. You spoiled. There's no reason to have John Cena on Pat McAfee if he's not the world champion.
Could have said it after.
Sure. But I don't really care because for most people that doesn't spoil it. But for me, I knew that gave me an aura of confidence of Cena's winning this thing. There's going to be, but here's the thing that's not going to get talked about enough, right? With all the questions that are being thrown around in the Discord and we don't have this information, Pat's going to ask every one of those fucking questions because he's not the WWE shill, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's just out of ignorance or like, I don't want ignorance. That sounds bad because I love Pat McAfee. If it's out of just like his personality, he's going to ask all the questions that WWE's probably like, shh, no, we don't want to talk about that yet, right?
Yeah.
He will ask those questions to try to get us answers. So we'll have answers, I think, sooner rather than later. We'll get answers from the Pat McAfee show where he will ask, hey, man, where was The Rock? I would bet that Pat McAfee goes, hey, where was your buddy Dwayne? And John Cena will probably try to skirt around the question, which is fine. If he skirts around the question, we'll know there's story at play, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to spoil anything. I think by Monday night, John Cena's scheduled to be there. We're going to learn a little bit more. And the problem is they're going to drip feed us a story over. Oh, we don't need to rush. I see everybody already booking this entire John Cena heel run. I think you guys are going to be surprised. It's not going to be the greatest hits of Cena. I think that's what he told us on Friday was, whatever you thought this was going to be, that's not what it's about to be. I'm going to do this my way, and you guys are just going to fucking get to, you were lucky you get to have
enjoy
me.
The ride.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. But like I said, patience is the key. You cannot shit on a great parade, right? We just had a great parade because the last float that went by maybe wasn't the biggest. It wasn't the baddest. It wasn't the best decorated. We can't overreact because it was a great parade. Overall, this was a great WrestleMania. Looking forward, the John Cena story is going to be amazing. Let it cook, right? The Rock will come back. Just have patience. I promise when all the smoke clears, and we look back at this in a week when we've all calmed down, we're going to talk about a great WrestleMania. Maybe not the best. It won't be remembered as the best, but we'll talk about a solid WrestleMania that's set up.
It's the worst, so it's successful in my eyes.
But it's above the worst. It's going to be in the top 20% of WrestleManias as far as from start to finish. And it's going to lead to a great 2025 of wrestling programming. I can promise you that. It's kicked off the John Cena farewell tour. He's now world champion. We have to deal with this fallout. And I promise you that with him being champion, he's not just going to go away. There will have to be answers. Yeah. They're not just going to take that title and delete it from TV again like they did with Roman Reigns. That's not happening. He's going to be present in some form or fashion, whether that means it's him, whether that means new people get added to this faction, whether that means it's through The Rock. Somebody will be there to represent that title on at least a monthly basis.
All right. Well, then I'm excited to see what happens.
But that's all we got for you tonight. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let us know what your favorite matches were in WrestleMania. New merch is live now at casualwrestling.com. I'm the Notorious D. That is Level Up Lauren. This was a special edition of CWCD. Stay loud, stay loyal, stay casual. Lauren, ring the final bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Head down, we're ready to rumble. The casual pod don't stumble. No peace, no rest in this fight. Breaking it down under the spotlight. No forgiveness, never give